Y'all knows BC in the claims don't make sense. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Now, as you already knows, B4 Reacts and all my for lifers out there. I pray that you guys are having a wonderful day. Now we have Cory Hardrict basically opening up about his marriage and being able to go a little bit deeper. And on this platform, I really enjoy it because a lot of black men don't necessarily have outlets where they can speak and truly get their message across without looking like they're weak or they're emasculated in some type of sense. And I just like the way Cory Hardrict delivers his message in terms of how he expresses himself compared to Tia, who seems to be a little more erratic. Let's get right into the video.
And parenting being
Yeah.
you being very involved and obviously their mother being very involved, the co-parent.
I had to stop right there. Right when he said their mother being very involved, you saw the way Cory kind of looked down at his hand because you can tell there's a slight uncomfortability there because there's a lot of emotion.
Parenting side of it and trying to make sure that you both are still in the same lane of raising your children
Right.
to the best of your ability. How has it been adapting to that and continuing to do such a good job as y'all are?
Everything is about the kids, you know, their well-being, their future, and just co-parenting, you know what I'm saying? And keeping it still a family and keeping it love-based,
family.
you know, still keep.
I had to touch on that when he said keeping it still a family. See, with some people, when you separate, they tend to separate it completely in terms of not really communicating more about the kids, not keeping it mutual and cordial, and keeping it still a family is very vital because you're going to be in each other's lives and your kids' feelings, their morale matters. And if they see that y'all two cannot communicate, y'all are always at odds, cussing each other out, being very, disrespectful. The kids are going to be severely affected by that. And a lot of people don't care because they care more about their emotions rather than their kids being taken care of and being, really attentive to them in a way that will gradually get them to a point where they can be successful and happy and feel loved. And that's the main ingredient. But when you separate and you got all this disrespect and all this nonsense, it's going to fall apart. Because some people like to use the children against the other parent so they can torture that other parent. But like I said, misery loves company. There's a lot of bitterness.
Keeping God first at the center of everything and just walking with love, man. That's all it's about. You know, I wish her the best with everything, and that's unconditional for me. You know, I love unconditional. I can't get caught up in what's going on out there, what people are saying. I just know where my heart is at, and I have to continue to move that way because.
I like when he said unconditionally because when you're a man, when you're a good man, when you choose a woman, you go all out for her. You protect her, provide for her. You're literally your heart on your sleeve. It's really on some knight in shining armor type shit. But a lot of times you prop up a woman and you put her on a pedestal, and all the while you're holding her up and you're supporting her when it actually should be the other way around. Because if you really think about it, the Most High said to rule your household well as a man. The head of the woman is the man, the head of the man is Christ, and the head of Christ is the Most High. But in this new day and age, people flip it. And a lot of households are torn down. A lot of women think when they get older, I'm missing out on something. You know what they're missing out on? Because their goals, their wants and their needs should be to their husband. That's what the Bible states. But I know a lot of people don't believe in the Bible, and I'm okay with that. But I'm a spiritual person. I'm a Bible, believer. And that right there should be that point of reference. But like I said before, if you have selfish people with their own desires and their own wants, it's all about me. This way you get TMR.
Because I want all my blessings for me, you know, and if I succeed, she succeeds, our kids succeed, you know? So I have no room for failure or no room for no, you know, mistakes right now in my life. That's how I look at it.
You know, obviously this is our first time meeting.
Okay, that was that one part. I want to go to another part that he touched on about not being able to sleep. Let's get into that.
Couldn't sleep for a year and a half or something, and that you cried for a lot of that time. How difficult was that period in life for you? Because we know as men and as black men, we're starting to get into a space where we talk about not only mental health, but emotional health.
Right.
And we've learned ways to be vulnerable and open. But to share that in a room full of people, I mean, that's something that you felt deeply. How did you find a way to get through that time while also having to still be a father, a provider,
Right.
and do your job?
You know, I feel like you'll never get through that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of praying, a lot of knowing that God is real. God is actually truly real in my life. A lot of stillness, man. When you sit still a lot, you know, you can hear a lot of things for me. A lot of isolation, solitude, and just knowing, you know, if I can just put one foot in front of the other, you know, and take it a day at a time.
Did you see the way he was speaking? You can tell that Corey is severely hurt because when you pour in so much to a person and you think that they would respect you for the things that you have done, the protection, the support, being a great father, and people can be so selfish. And that kind of, tore him. But when you look at it, when he said isolation, that being still, because you know what happens with a lot of individuals, they tell them themselves. You would truly see what a person is about when you're sitting still, when you're not trying to match their energy, when you're no longer trying to play into the game of misery loves company, a tit for tat. When you're not doing that and you sit back and you really see what's going on, you'll notice a lot of things. But a lot of people let their emotions get involved and logic goes out the window. And then a lot of these other things don't become apparent because they're unable to see. It's the blind leading the blind. But you see how, Tia is with her show with these strippers and going on multiple dates, all this nonsense. But then when she drops off her child to the house, oh, I just hate the fact I got to drop. You know why? Because she just want to experience whatever the world is, conforming to the world and the things in it. But Corey's getting closer to God, going in opposite directions. She wants to be more of the world. He wants to be more of God. You don't hear Tia talking about God. Within a little bit of time, you hear Corey talking about God. Literally. But with Tia, you barely. What do you hear God at? What do you hear spirituality at? You don't hear none of it. She actually be talking about zodiac signs. For goodness' sake.
Because I'm taking it a day at a time, still to this day.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I just take it a day at a time. You know, black men have feelings. You know, black men hurt. Black men are in like pain, and sometimes we don't have outlets to, you know, like talking to you now. No one really asked me these questions, never really. So it's like sometimes we feel like we're dealing with it alone, not unless you have like a therapist or, you know, a close confidant or like friend. But it's not easy because it feels like as a black man, you can't show vulnerability to the world, you know, because it's a form of weakness. But it should be looked at as a form of strength, you know, like men do need to cry, you know, because when it's all bottled up, you know, and inside, you know, that's when stress, things can happen, different tensions. You got to be able to have a outlet to release. Like I said, that's the only way that you can get to the true healing of everything. So yeah, when I was speaking in Miami, that's just how how I felt at the time. You know, so to this day, I look at my kids and say, "Daddy got you forever." You know, I look at my daughter. You know, when they smile at me and they know Daddy really loves them, my son knows Daddy really loves me. That's what brings me joy right now, and that's what keeps me saying, I'm I'm on my way. I want to be the biggest in the world. You know, from
So basically, what Corey is saying that he allows, his passion, his love for his children to kind of deep feeling of losing Tia in that and all the controversy that's behind it. And he loves his children so much and God that he doesn't allow all the noise, all the nonsense to compel him to go into a state of depression. So that's what it's really about. And I just think it's a beautiful thing, man. I really believe that a lot of black men have to start really speaking out about these things, stop being silent. Because if you're not speaking out about it, people are going to think that, okay, this person is just whatever. They don't really care or they don't have feelings. They're like a robot. But if you speak out about it and people finally get a chance to see what it's like, crying themselves to sleep, all these things, you'll see. All right, so that's all I got for this situation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm up.